All right, Grizzlies, when I say the name Mark Tremonti, you think about the badass guitar player for Creed, Alter Bridge, and then your solo project, Tremonti. But do you think crooner? So we've talked about it, and now I'm joined by Mark Tremonti to talk all things Frank Sinatra. How you doing, Mark?
Good. How about yourself?
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit first before we get into the album about the charity and why you decided to do this.
So I wanted to start an organization called Take a Chance for Charity, which challenges other musicians or actors or athletes or anybody with a platform like yourself to do something that your fan base would never see come in to raise money for charity. It's kind of the green light to do whatever you want artistically to, to get this thing going and raise as much money. And for me, it's for the National Down Syndrome Society, because my daughter, who's I got a picture of right here,
Gorgeous.
has Down syndrome, and she's my inspiration to do this project. She gave me the strength to get in the room with these guys and record this record, and can't wait for the world to hear it.
I have to tell you, when I heard about this project, I was intrigued and thought he'll probably do a pretty good job. Holy crap. I listened to it in my office, and I wish the people that share that office wing with me could tell you what my reaction was because it was an expletive. I had no idea that you had those kind of chops.
Well,
I
thank you
mean,
very much.
seriously impressed. I'm like, he's better than Frank Jr. So, how did
Oh,
it
I
come
don't know
about?
about.
Oh, I think you are.
Well, thank you.
But how did that come about? How did you, first of all, where did your love for Frank Sinatra come from?
So I've always loved Sinatra's singing, and through my whole life, it's just kind of comfort. It just made you feel good. It was
Right.
during the holiday season, you'd hear his voice, and always, just was a good atmosphere, and I always loved it. And then about 3 years ago, I became obsessed. I think I saw some old videos of the song "Is You" that he
Hmm.
tracked back in the day when he was younger, and it kind of like piqued my interest. I wanted, a lot of people are just familiar with his newer stuff, his My Ways and New York, New
Right.
York, the the most famous songs. But he had a huge, awesome career, and I dove into the early days and just wanted to start doing all my research on him and read all the books, watched all his movies, watched documentaries, and then started studying how to sing like him on my own, just listening and taking notes. And um, my son Pearson plays soccer, and he has soccer practice 4 or 5 nights a week, and he
Oh,
was
wow.
picked up by two teams. So I would sit in the car because of COVID. You can't watch, you can't go on the
Right.
field. So I'm sitting in the car for 3 hours practicing Sinatra
Oh, that's awesome.
nonstop. So I got so much time, and then he'd come in the car after practice and say, "Dad, all the kids can hear you singing in the car."
How did you get that tone? I mean, because your tone is so on that, I mean, did you have other people interpret, like once you sang, like, hey, is it close? Did you get other feedback, or did you just go strictly from ear?
The only person that really hurt me was my son Pearson. you know, I I just had that feeling like every day I would drive him to practice, and it was a 45-minute drive. And when I'd start singing, I'm like, I got some work to do. By the time practice was over and I was driving home, I felt like I had improved that day. I'm getting closer. And I just, for about 3 years, I've been practicing
Wow.
singing as much as I possibly can. Now it's a rule. If I'm in the car, I have to be singing Sinatra because that's my, no matter what, practice time.
I like
Uh,
that.
so
So,
it's, yeah.
what did Frank's band think when you approached them? Because you had the surviving members from his band play on this album. What did they think when you approached them about this project?
Well, my when I told my manager I wanted to do this, he said, my guitar teacher growing up was Dan McIntyre, who toured with Frank Sinatra. So I said,
Wow.
wow, what a crazy coincidence. So he called Mike Smith, who was Frank Sinatra's band leader, and they organized. Well, first they had lunch, and they said, well, can your boy sing? And
Right.
my manager had never heard me sing Sinatra, and he's like, oh, of course he can.
Right.
But so we scheduled a 2 song session just to kind of see if it was all going to work. And a lot of the guys came up to me afterwards and were like, being a rock guy, I didn't know what to expect, but we're really excited about doing this project and it sounds great. So we scheduled 6 songs the next time, and then another 6 after that. So we did 14, and every song we recorded, we put on the record.
Now, which one did you think was the hardest one to perfect?
I think Nancy with the laughing face was a tough one just because it's such an emotional song. It's such a there's so much space. It shows you just how great Sinatra was with his phrasing and his pronunciation and his, there's a lot of tempo changes within that song.
Right.
And so we all had in-ears in and headphones on, and there was a guide track that we would sing to as a metronome, and it would go
Right.
1 2 3 4, it would get fast and slow and fast,
Oh,
move all
geez.
over the place. So you had to know where you were in that song, and that was, I think, one of the toughest ones for the band to get as well. But that being said, these guys wouldn't play more than 3 times through a song and be done.
Wow.
So what you hear on the record is the band playing from start to finish with no edits. There's no like, hey, let me punch this, let me punch that. It's just the guys playing. And if they got it, they got it. If they didn't, we'd do it again. But there was never more than 3 or 4 tops performances of each of these songs before we got it.
That's amazing. Now, have you ever thought about, because this is going to be, I think it's going to be huge. Did you ever think about taking this on the show, like on the road live, doing?
Absolutely. We have our first show scheduled May 14th, and it's in Orlando here. It's a listening party performance. So people will come get to hear the whole record before it comes out. And then we'll perform, 8 or 9 songs with the band. A lot of the key guys are coming down from Chicago, and we'll do a 17-piece performance.
Wow.
And
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So which song does it mean the most to you to sing? Because obviously you liked Frank Sinatra growing up. Is there one that you just, when you sing it, you feel Frank?
The Song Is You was really the kind of the turning point for me. There's just moments in your life, in my life, where the light switch goes off and you're like, I got to do this thing. That was the song, the video that I saw that I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to sing like this. I'm going to try to absorb it as much as I can. And so that's also the song that I sing my daughter when, to make her smile,
That's
so
amazing.
as soon as I sing the opening line, she smiles. So there's no way I'm not singing it every single day.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, I'm curious. I've talked to Miles Kennedy before. Obviously, you guys have Alter Bridge and all that going on. Have you thought about trying to recreate a Rat Pack kind of situation? Maybe
I would,
getting one of those?
if I found the right guys to join me, I would love to. It's when I thought about doing tours, because we're thinking about doing some stuff maybe later this summer as well, and then even into when we go to Europe this winter to do, just stay in the UK and do some more shows over there. But you think of other people that have done things like this. I think of Alex Skolnick. He has a jazz band.
Oh, for sure.
It'd be good to give him a call and say, hey, you want to go out? I'll do Sinatra. You do, your jazz band, and just get together familiar artists that are doing something different and get on stage with it.
Well, we appreciate your time. Please tell us how and when they can get this album.
So it comes out the 27th of May. And if you go to TremontiSingsSinatra.com, that site will have, or .org, both. I think it's .org. But if you go to the site, you can buy the record, T-shirts, all kinds of merchandise, or you can just hit the donate now button to donate to NDSS. And then also it shows you, if you want to take a chance for charity, how you can do that as well. Because my biggest favor I can ask of anybody is, beyond the Sinatra record and listening to that, is challenging your other favorite artists to do the same thing, to raise money for charity. It could be, it could even be your favorite athlete, doing a song or doing a dance or doing a magic show or doing whatever it is to raise money for charity.
Well, we appreciate your time. The best of luck. I know this is going to be a smash. Absolutely amazing. I will post all the links up on our socials as well. Thank you for spending time with us today, Mark.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.